Hello everybody and welcome back to Bandwagon Sports. Today I'm doing my July 4.0 NHL mock draft for the 2021 NHL draft. Last mock draft, I'm going to say this was a bit of a fluke. I really did not enjoy it at all. I just kind of, didn't really make a lot of great decisions in that mock draft, and this one's going to be a lot better, hopefully. So thank you all so much for watching this video, and let's get into the draft. And starting here at number 1 with the Buffalo Sabres, I have them taking the same player as I have in my last 3 mock drafts, and that is Michigan center Matthew Beniers. And the real big reason for this pick is that Jack Eichel might not be there and Sam Reinhart might not be there next year, and really there's nobody to take that number 1 center spot. And sure, they could acquire a first-line center in the Jack Eichel trade, but I just think acquiring Matthew Beniers, who's such an excellent two-way center, will be beneficial for the Sabres. I really do think in a weaker draft where, they have the right to drafting first overall and they really get to take whoever they want, Matthew Beniers would be the smarter pick out of anyone they can take, and that's really what I think of, the smart pick, and I think that is Matthew Beniers. Like I said, great two-way center with some scoring upside, and honestly just a great overall player if the Sabres grab him. And let's move on to number 2. Now here at number 2, the Seattle Kraken. I have them taking Michigan defenseman Owen Power, and with Buffalo not taking Owen Power at number 1, the Seattle Kraken are taking him here at number 2. Excellent two-way center. I would put him more of an offensive two-way, I said center, defenseman, but you could definitely work on those defensive skills in the NHL level. Really just an overall well-rounded, solid defenseman. He played for Canada in the World Championships this year, and he played pretty good, pretty considerable amount of ice time as well, and he looked excellent. So really just a great pick here in Owen Power. He's an excellent skater, an excellent offensive weapon, and if you can develop him into a two-way player, then that's also awesome. So number 3 belongs to the Anaheim Ducks, so let's get into that pick. Alright, here at number 3, we have the Anaheim Ducks, and I have them taking Swedish defenseman Simon Edvinsson, and really for a while now, they haven't had a lot of scoring from the blue line, and I really do think that, one offensive defenseman in that, top 6 is going to be pretty beneficial to the Ducks, especially one with the potential of Simon Edvinsson. In my opinion, a potential 50 to 60 point defenseman one day if he can figure out his passing issues. He only completes passes 50% of the time, which is just ridiculous. And I point this out every mock draft, but the potential is there. He can be the best player in this draft, but could also be the biggest bust in this draft. And I really do think the Ducks will take a hit or miss here on Edvinsson, who can add some great two-way ability to that blue line, not just offense, but also a little bit of defense there as well, and just an excellent player, an excellent point producer if he reaches his potential in the NHL. And so let's move on to pick number 4, who is the New Jersey Devils. And here at number 4, going to the New Jersey Devils, I have Swedish winger William Eklund, and this guy can play wing or center. And just think of this first of all, you got a future first line of Eklund, Hughes, and Holtz. That's dirty sounding to me. And Eklund had a really great season, a historic season for a U18 player in the SHL. He put up 23 points in about 45 games, and it's not, super historic, but he is in company with guys like Nicholas Backstrom, Philip Forsberg, excellent players in today's NHL over there in Sweden, and he put up a great year. And he's a very skilled winger who can, shoot the puck, pass the puck. He can play a bit of defense, and I believe he has 70 to 80 point potential. And overall, just the fit with Alexander Holtz already, and a great playmaking center in Jack Hughes. That's a great first line ready to go in about 5 years. So let's move on to number 5, the Columbus Blue Jackets. Okay, here at number 5, the Columbus Blue Jackets. They really need a center, so I have them taking Finnish center AATU RATY, and I know he's ranked in the low teens, high 20s in most people's mock drafts, but knowing Jarmo Kekalainen, he's going to go off the board no matter what with this pick, and I believe that AATU RATY is going to be a perfect Columbus Blue Jacket center. Great defensive game right off the bat. If, Jarmo Kekalainen can somehow find a way to develop AATU RATY's offense, then he has himself a future number 1 center, and even without that offense, I think AATU RATY will play a pretty good role in a middle 6 anywhere in the future. Maybe a third-line defensive player, maybe a second-line two-way player, depending on how things go in his development. It is a big risk taking AATU RATY here at 5, but if it pays off for Kekalainen, he has himself potentially one of the best players in this draft, and definitely one of the best defenders at the forward position in this draft. And overall, just a really great player to take here at number 5 for the Blue Jackets. I'm always saying this, a perfect Blue Jacket center AATU is. So let's move on to the 6th pick, the Detroit Red Wings. And here at number 6, the Detroit Red Wings select center/winger Kent Johnson out of the University of Michigan. And I really do think that this is a great player for the Red Wings. Super skilled forward who can fit right into that top 6. I believe Kent Johnson has 60-point potential on that second line with the with the Red Wings. And honestly, there's really not much to point out about Kent Johnson's game that's a negative other than that defense. He has excellent speed, he has excellent offense, and excellent hockey IQ. He can really find plays that, a lot of other players really don't see, and he can shoot the puck, he can pass the puck. Overall, just a great dynamic player, and, again, a great player that can fit in on that second line for the Red Wings in the future, even maybe a first liner. And honestly, the really big difference maker between Johnson and some other guys who I'm considering at this pick is Johnson has that versatility of a winger and a center. You can play him on the center if you need on the power play or whatever. You can also play him on the wing on that power play, 5-on-5, 3-on-3. Honestly, just a great versatile center. You can play in a lot of different situations, and, really excellent skilled player for the Red Wings. So let's move on to pick number 7, the San Jose Sharks, I believe. Here at number 7, the San Jose Sharks select American defenseman Luke Hughes, and really the big reason behind this is I believe Luke Hughes can be a good Brent Burns replacement one day. He definitely has the offensive upside, and honestly, maybe even a bit of a better defender than Brent Burns, coming from that left-handed side too. You got the top 2 defensemen on the Sharks getting really old and up there in age, Brent Burns and Marc-Edouard Vlasic, and you can see big regression in their games this year. And honestly, a guy like Luke Hughes could be a huge change. You already got Ryan Merkley on that right side, who looks like he'll be a good top 4 defenseman for them one day. And I think Luke Hughes can add some really good two-way stability in that Sharks lineup. A potential number 2 defenseman one day. I don't think he'll be your ace on the blue line, but definitely a great secondary option. You can run him on the power play, you can run him on the penalty kill, and he can be a minute hog at 25 minutes a night. Really just a big positional need for the Sharks here at number 7, and I think Luke Hughes addresses that need pretty well. So let's move on to pick number 8. Here at number 8, the Los Angeles Kings select Canadian winger Dylan Guenther, and this is a really great pick for the Kings here at 8. If this guy drops this far, Dylan Guenther would be an excellent pickup, because really when I look at the Kings, I see a lot of great prospects, but I also see a lot of great center prospects, and really not a lot of great winger prospects. You do got guys like Akil Thomas and Arthur Kaliev, but I really don't see that huge number 1 wing prospect coming out. I do believe Kaliev can be a good top 6 guy, but really not much more. Dylan Guenther really solidifies that number 1 spot as a wing prospect. He put crazy numbers up in the WHL this year. He had 2 points per game on average, which is just totally insane, and he ripped it up. And really, if he's available here at this spot, the Kings should take him. Really positional need, I feel, for the Kings with, wing prospects. And you got guys like Turcotte, Byfield, Velarde, Kupari. If you pair Guenther alongside of any of those guys, that's going to make one deadly duo. So just an excellent pick here. I think Dylan Guenther would be for the Kings. And let's move on to pick number 9, the Vancouver Canucks. At number 9, the Vancouver Canucks select defenseman BRANDT CLARKE. And BRANDT CLARKE is really going to be an excellent player for the Canucks here. I do see defense as a little bit of a need for the Canucks, and, their defensive game was not there this season at all. I really do feel like they have a lot of good forward prospects up and coming, and I really do feel like they could add a little bit more to that back end beside Quinn Hughes. They do got guys like Olio Levy and, maybe a guy like whatever his name is, Brogan Rafferty coming up, but really, BRANDT CLARKE can be a great guy to pair beside someone on that top 4, and could add some two-way stability to the lineup. He has, 40 to 50 point potential, I would say, and some good penalty kill potential as well. Maybe put him on that second line PK, but really a guy who I think the Canucks do need. I do think they need to draft a defensive prospect in this draft, really to add that number 1 to the system again, and, just help out the future on that defense. So let's move on to pick number 10. The Ottawa Senators. At number 10, the Ottawa Senators select Swedish winger FABIAN LYSELL. And LYSELL, great two-way player. I mean, he has offensive upside like nobody's business, and he can even play back in the defensive end. I really do feel like Ottawa needs a few more players like FABIAN LYSELL who can play that two-way game on the forward core. They do have awesome prospects at, the forward position already. Tim Stützle, Josh Norris, Drake Batherson, Alex Formanton. I could go on, but those are really the big four. And I think FABIAN LYSELL really does add a huge number one winger to that system. I do feel like Stützle is a big winger, but, he's more of a center, versatile winger, and FABIAN LYSELL is purely just a winger. He has an excellent hockey IQ. He is, smart with the puck, and he has a very underrated defensive game as well. You could probably put him on that penalty kill, and no one would be complaining with his defensive effort. So, really an excellent player here for the Senators to grab at 10. A guy who I feel is so underrated in this draft, and, an excellent pickup here for Ottawa. I can't speak. So let's move on to pick number 12. And at number 11, the Arizona Coyotes select me, my useless ass, because they do not have a pick, so I'm going to be selected 11th overall to the Arizona Coyotes. Next pick is 12 to the Chicago Blackhawks. And I really hate to do this to this guy, but at 12, the Chicago Blackhawks select Jesper Wallstedt. Oh man, Chicago Blackhawks are going to grab a Corey Crawford 2.0 and win another 4 Stanley Cups right in my face. Jeez. Well, Jesper Wallstedt is a franchise-defining goaltender. Oh man, there's not a lot of players like him. Just really excellent talent all around the board. He is going to be great for the Blackhawks if he's developed right. And knowing the Blackhawks in their history, they know how to develop goaltenders. I mean, Corey Crawford, Terry Sawchuk, just to name a couple because I can't think of everyone. Glenn Hall, just such great goalies coming through this Chicago Blackhawks system. And Jesper Wallstedt will be able to make his name in the history of, Chicago Blackhawks excellent netminders. And I really do hate this pick, but it makes so much sense for the Blackhawks to take him here at 11. So let's move on to pick number 12. I don't even know what team it is. Here at number 12, I have the Calgary Flames selecting a Russian center, FYODOR SVECHKOV, and I had him taken to the Blackhawks like every mock draft before this, but, I took a second look, and they have so many good center prospects already, it's not needed. But Calgary, on the other hand, really looking to make a change at center. Sean Monahan, not the player he once was a couple years ago, and, really lacking some center depth as well. I think FYODOR SVECHKOV could add some great two-way stability to that center core one day. I mean, just an excellent defender in this draft. One of the best defenders in this draft, if not the best. Definitely top 2. And, he has some great complementary offenses as well. He played some great hockey in the VHL. He had half a point per game down there in the second league in Russia, which is basically the Russian AHL. And overall, a great top 6 dynamic player I think FYODOR SVECHKOV could be. And I think the Calgary Flames are going to be very enticed by that kind of potential and take him here at number 12. So let's move on to pick number 13. Who I don't really know. Here at pick number 13, I have the Philadelphia Flyers selecting center, winger, American-born CHAZ LUCIUS. And CHAZ LUCIUS is very underrated in this draft class. Who would have known? Another underrated player that I like. LUCIUS put up more than a goal per game this year in the time he played in the USNDP, and he did have a big injury at the beginning of the year. And, that might scare teams away from taking him inside the top 10, but I think Philadelphia will definitely love him here at 13. Such a great dynamic player. You're probably going to run him more at the wing, but if you need, he can play that center position as well. And with Claude Giroux getting old, Jacob Voracek getting old, a lot of guys on that Philadelphia team who you knew and loved, 5 years ago, who were excellent, and still in their primes, are really starting to, kind of flourish away and slowly grow old and die. But, I think CHAZ LUCIUS can add a great change to the Flyers system. He has that versatility that I think teams are going to be looking for, and he has that awesome goal scoring ability, just pure rocket from anywhere on the ice. And I think that's going to entice a lot of teams, and I have the Flyers taking him here at 13. So let's move on to pick number 14, the Dallas Stars. And here at number 14, the Dallas Stars will be selecting American-born SASHA PASTUJOV, and this is a great player. Another very underrated guy in this draft. That's 3 guys in a row, I believe, who are underrated. And honestly, PASTUJOV is amazing. He blew me away this year. He had 90-plus points, 91 points, I'll just say it, in about 70 games in the USNDP. He showed some great offensive potential, some good defensive potential, and honestly, just a great player for the Stars to take with that aging forward group. Pavelski's getting old, Ben's getting old, Sagan's 30 years old now, and really, you're gonna need to find replacements for those guys soon. And I think SASHA PASTUJOV could be a replacement for one of those guys potentially. Good top 6 potential. He has great, just really raw kind of talent. You know, nothing really sticks out like a sore thumb. I think he's just good in every aspect of the game. Really nothing that sticks out amazingly, and really nothing that sticks out poorly. So really just a safe pick here, I think, at 14 for the Stars. And I really do like this pick. So let's move on to the final pick of the mock draft, the New York Rangers at 15. And here at 15, this guy dropped a little bit more than I would have liked, but honestly, I do think that the guys ahead of him really deserve to go ahead of him. At 15, I have Canadian center Mason McTavish, and Mason McTavish played great this year in all aspects of the game. I mean, he had a great World Juniors, U18s, I should say. He had some great time over there in the Swiss League, but, you know, definitely just an excellent overall player, top 6 potential, and, you know, the Rangers, they're going to take him and add to that already impressive prospect pool. Mason McTavish, just an excellent player. I'm going to be so excited to see him next year in the OHL when they get back on track, and, you know, just a player with a lot of great offensive talent. I don't really know much about the defensive game, but from what I've seen, he can play offense and he can play hockey, so I think the Rangers are going to be very happy here to take him at 15, and that is going to do it for the you know, top 15 of this draft. So thank you all for watching this video. If, you know, my mind seems all over the place, my speech is kind of wild. Tampa just went up 2-0 in the Stanley Cup Finals, and I am bouncing around everywhere in my mind. I mean, that's what ADHD does to you, so, you know, thank you all so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed, please consider leaving a like and subscribing. We are on our way to 150 subscribers, and we're only 13 away, so that is awesome. Thank you guys so much for that. Let's please reach it before the end of the year, which I think is definitely possible. But again, thank you all so much for watching this video, and I will catch you in the next one. But for now, stay classy. Bye.